Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into something that's, well, it's simple, but also incredibly profound. We're talking about the strategic power of just choosing to stay quiet.
I mean, think about it. We live in a world that pretty much rewards being loud, right? The quickest comeback, the person who always has an opinion, that's who gets the spotlight. But, and this is a big but, what if we're missing something? In that constant rush to be heard, what kind of power are we leaving on the table by not being silent?
Okay, so let's start by kind of reframing this whole idea of silence, because it's not just nothing. It's not just an absence of sound. It's actually a conscious choice. It's this powerful, unspoken option that's always available to us.
And it all starts with this feeling. I think we've all had it. Sometimes it just feels better to stay quiet. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're in a meeting or maybe a tense conversation with someone, and you just get this gut feeling that, yeah, adding more words to this fire is not the answer.
And that's where we see this really interesting contrast. Our impulse, our gut reaction, is usually to speak up, right? We want to prove our point, win the argument, get the last word in. But silence? It's like a whole different toolkit. It lets you step back and actually observe. It helps you conserve your precious energy. And, maybe most importantly, it gives you the clarity to choose which battles are even worth your time.
And that whole idea, choosing your battles, that's really just about knowing when to let go of the fight. Now, this is crucial. It's not about surrendering. Not at all. It's about using your silence as a tool for your own strength and, honestly, for self-preservation. And here's a piece of wisdom that is just so powerful. You really got to let this one sink in. You don't have to prove your point every single time. Just think about that for a second. There is so much freedom in just knowing that your perspective is valid all on its own without having to drag everyone else over to your side of the argument. And if you don't have to prove your point every time, well, it follows that you absolutely don't have to win every single battle. True strength isn't about having a perfect win-loss record in every little disagreement. No way. It's having the wisdom to know which fights are just a complete waste of your energy and which ones actually truly matter.
So this is a great question to ask yourself, maybe even right now. Think about the last argument or disagreement you got into. Was it really worth it? Was it worth your time, your focus, your mental energy, your peace of mind? What was the real cost of jumping into that fight? You see how this works? We're moving from the external world, all those battles out there, to the internal. Because once you stop feeling the need to fight every battle on the outside, you can start building something really important on the inside. Let's call it the inner sanctuary.
And this leads to a really beautiful insight, right? Some things can just be kept in the heart. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about being all secretive or anything. It's just recognizing that not every single thought you have needs to be broadcast to the world. Some things actually become more powerful when you just hold them for yourself. And just to be super clear on what this inner sanctuary is, it's not about bottling up your emotions or hiding from the hard stuff, not at all. Think of it more like a private room inside your own mind. It's a protected space where you can go for some genuine reflection, check in with what you really believe in, and most of all, protect your own peace.
So here's maybe the most powerful way to think about it. Your silence can be a shield. And I love that metaphor because it's not a wall, right? You're not trying to block the whole world out. It's a shield. Something you can raise when you need to protect your peace from all that unnecessary noise and drama.
Okay, this brings us to our final and maybe the most profound idea of all. This is where we see silence connect with two other incredibly powerful forces in the universe, patience and time.
And it all comes together in this one final thought. Let's be patient, everything will be all right with time. This is so key. It connects silence not with giving up, but with having faith. It's about trusting that some problems, some knots, they just untangle themselves over time, without us having to frantically pull at them.
So, okay, how do we actually do this? Well, you can think of it as a simple 4-step process. First, just acknowledge the moment. Feel that urge to react bubble up. Second, consciously choose silence. Make it a deliberate act. Third, this is important, practice active patience. That means you're not just waiting, you're observing. And finally, number 4, just trust. Trust that the right answer or some kind of resolution will show up in its own time.
All right, let's wrap this up and bring it all together. Let's talk about the real power in your pause. So, what are the big takeaways here? Let's run through them. 1. Silence is not passive. It's a strategy. 2. It saves your energy for the fights that actually matter. 3.
It's a shield that protects your inner peace. And 4, it is a powerful, powerful act of patience.
And so we're going to leave you with one final question to chew on. Look, the goal here isn't to be silent all the time. Of course not. It's about knowing when your silence is actually more powerful than your words. So take a look at your life, your work, your relationships, and just ask yourself, where are you going to use your silence next? Thanks for joining us.